Three things that Manchester United and Ruben Amorim needs to do to make sure they challenge for the Champions League positions for this upcoming season. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and yeah, man, let's get into this. So, number one, style of play, as well as bringing in the right players to suit his style of play. So, Ruben Amorim's record at Manchester United, obviously, now I'm talking about in the Premier League alone, by the way, because obviously they're not in Europe, because they lost the Europa League final to Tottenham Hotspur, being the reasons why Tottenham ended their trophy drought. 27 Premier League games he's managed, 7 wins, 6 draws, 14 losses. 14 losses. Goals scored in our Ruben Amorim time, 32. Goals conceded, 42. 25.93% win rate. So it's from reading these statistics alone, it's quite clear to see that Ruben Amorim is under a lot of pressure for this upcoming season. Because if he does not hit the ground running, he could be out of the door by the same time that he joined the club last year, which was November. Because I'm sorry, but reading these statistics is actually disgraceful. I get it, it's not his side. I get it. These Manchester United players are not good. They're not good at all. But Ruben Amorim is not a scrub of a manager. He should be getting way more out of these players than he should have. And if you have to tweak your style of play to accommodate some of these players, when the bleeding gets too much, you might have to do that. I get it. Managers, I like managers that stick to their style of play no matter what, to their formation. I understand that. I like managers like that. But when the bleeding is getting so bad, sometimes it go against your will, but to get results, you might have to tweak something, you know. And I feel like he should have done that for this upcoming season. But in my honest opinion, I think Ruben Amorim is one of the last people you should be pointing fingers at. These Manchester United, from top to bottom, especially with players, in the mud at from like I said, they're in the mud, period. So definitely bringing in the right players that suits his philosophy. So bringing in Cunha, bringing in Bremo, who contributed to like 30 plus goals between them last season. Obviously, Cunha hit 15 and Bremo hit 20. Immediately, you're improving your goal scoring record. Immediately, you're adding goals. And they're linked to Sesko as well. And also, they have Ollie Watkins. Sesko, I feel like, is a risk because PTSD from Rasmus Højlund. 70-odd million they brought Rasmus Højlund for. And he's looking at one of the worst strikers to ever play in the Premier League. And I'll put him top 3. That's how bad he is, in my opinion. And Sesko's way better than Rasmus Højlund, but his potential is 50-50. Whilst Ollie Watkins is a guarantee. Ollie Watkins got, I think, 15 goals, 8 assists last season. Year before, top assister, 19 goals, 13 assists. 22-23, 16 goals, 8 assists. Like, Ollie Watkins, he's one of the very best strikers in the Premier League, and Manchester United needs to carry on that route of going for Premier League players. And I feel like going for Premier League proven players, some of the best of the rest, will definitely help Amorim and his style of play. Because having a front three of Cunha and Bremo as the 2 10s behind Ollie Watkins, goals galore. They're scoring goals, whether you like it or not. With Sesko, I still believe they'll score goals, but not as much with Ollie Watkins up top, if that makes sense. And also, wing backs as well. Mazraoui is not a right wing back. Like, he's not a right wing back. He does have in this game. Luke Shaw, he can barely stay fit playing centre back, let alone putting him in the left wing back position. So they got a Dogu there. So obviously, I don't see Amorim improve buying players for that wing back position. Midfielders, he does need midfielders. He needs a midfielder with pace and quality to help out Bruno Fernandes. Because Ugarte, he can't play football, and Casemiro, obviously, in big games, he rose to the occasion, Casemiro. I'll never, ever disrespect Casemiro, but they need someone better than Casemiro right now. And defensively, obviously, as a structure, surprisingly enough, Manchester United's structure defensively is way better than when they do going forward, isn't it? But I still think they need a quality defender in that team to hold that back line and also be the leader of that back line. Because obviously, they got De Ligt and that, but I think they need someone better than De Ligt. You get what I'm trying to say? So, especially the way they build up as well. Onana, they need to replace Onana as well because he cost them so many games last season. But let's say they're going to keep Onana. Onana will need to massively improve because, boy, he cost Manchester United so much last season. That goal in Europa League final, that was shocking goalkeeping. But yeah, in terms of tactically, the way they build up, the way they combine in the middle of the park, and also the attacking patterns in the final third, they need to massively improve on that. But I feel like with the individual brilliance of Mbeumo Cunha, I think let's be honest, it will paper a lot of cracks in that build-up, the way they attack as a front three, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, that's the first thing that Amorim needs to do: change, like, adjust his style of play, and also buy in players that suits like the way he wants to play. Second of all, Manchester United players need to have confidence to perform week in, week out. Because I'm not going to point out individuals, but let's be honest, most of that Manchester United team was lacking in confidence. They brought in Aiden Heaven, and I feel like he was one of the few Manchester United players last season that had the confidence to actually perform. You get what I'm trying to say? And I feel like, obviously, I get it. Off the field, Garnacho falling out of Amorim, Rashford falling out of Amorim, etc. Definitely didn't help the dressing room and whatnot. But let's be honest, having so many players lack confidence in one pitch, that's something that I have to give Amorim criticism for. That's something that I will personally say that's Amorim's fault, because you can't have so many players losing out on confidence and not blame the manager. Like that's wrong in my opinion, even though these players are scrubs. But I do feel like in most games, even when Amorim has got the tactics right in some games and the players weren't performing, it's a confidence issue. So they need to have that belief. They need to have that mentality to get out of trouble, thinking if they don't concede first, the game is gone. They need to stay in the game. They need to keep their heads in the game. So that's another thing, having the confidence. And the final thing, the third, last but certainly not least, consistency. They're not playing in Europe for this upcoming season. Obviously, one or 2 games a week is obviously Carabao Cups coming on very soon. FA Cup comes in January. So the players' energy levels will definitely be at a much better rate than it was last season. So because of that, expecting Manchester United players to perform with a lot of energy and a lot of hunger. And another thing that I want to touch on with the whole consistency thing, last season in the big games, Manchester United performed as they should as a club. They rose the occasion to some of the big games, even though their big game record was hit and miss. But in the games against Crystal Palace at home, the West Ham's at home, or the Everton's aways, and the sides that finished in the bottom half of the table, like, let's be honest, the mentality wasn't there, the hunger wasn't there, and it's almost like they weren't interested in playing. That cannot happen in this upcoming season. Manchester United needs to challenge for the Champions League position, and in doing so, they need these players to rise to the occasion, as well as improve their mentality, because last season, their mentality was on the floor. There was whatless, there was useless. So the top 3, style of play, as well as bringing in players that suits Amorim's philosophy, confidence, and also consistency. If Manchester United do these 3 things to a very good level, they'll definitely have a chance of reaching Champions League football, which should be their aspirations. If not, it will be the exact same as the season that just went, when they finished 15th, lost lots of games, players losing their heads, confidence on the floor, style of play looking poor, disjointed all round. Yeah, man. Last season definitely wasn't looking good for Manchester United. It was awful. But this upcoming season, like I said, brings new hope, new life, new expectations, breath of fresh air. Let's see how it goes. Will Manchester United improve on last season? We have to wait and see. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate the support. 167 subscribers. Let's keep spamming that subscribe button. Let's keep spamming. Consistency never dies. Until then, in a bit.